And welcome back to another episode of Doing Life Radio. I am Sam.
And I'm Joyce. We're a married couple living in South Jersey, talking about all things life with a special focus on food, fitness, and faith.
And this episode's food.
That's right. We're talking about meal prep, or in our house, it's more like refrigerator prep.
I guess so, yeah.
Because we don't really separate our meals so much as we get our fridge ready for a successful week.
I think we're the average person trying to get ourselves ready for the average week, which is anything but average. I think that's what most everyone's like.
Yeah.
But this is a great episode. I got to try something for the first time, so you get to experience that with me.
And we give out one of my favorite recipes in this episode.
Yeah, so you're going to see that in the description section, so make sure you try it out. But now we're going to get on with the Rimple, quote-unquote, meal prep episode.
Yeah.
And we're back with another episode of Doing Life Radio, right?
We are. Today we are talking kind of meal prep. I know when you think of meal prep, you picture those beautiful pictures on Pinterest where everyone has like 7 containers out and they set out 7 perfect lunches.
Labeled
and they all look
Sunday
the same.
through Saturday.
Yes, exactly.
The freezer's all stacked up all nice and clean.
Yeah, I haven't really figured that out to that extent. And I don't know. That's not really how I meal prep. I guess I kind of think of it as like setting my fridge up for the week so we can go in and have some great options kind of at our fingertips.
Yeah, we're not wired that to get the whole week laid out, and that's not how our life schedule works either.
We just are not as consistent with our schedule. Like things, I guess, like any other family,
Things pop up.
Things pop up. Things get a little crazy. So I do like a fridge setup for the week, I guess.
Yeah.
Is probably the best way to say it.
So this is just basic meal prep, I guess. So not anything overly crazy, and we're not talking like meals like
just
lunch,
setting up
dinner,
for success.
breakfast, but we're also like expanding into like snacks and
yes. And I'm also a big proponent of it doesn't have to be breakfast food because it's 8 a.m. If you have leftover steak in the fridge, feel free to eat that. And a lot of times at dinner, I make breakfast food. So we're not really hung up on having to eat certain things at certain times. No,
wow, you're totally going against the grain here. This is radical thinking. So
totally outside
it doesn't
the box.
have to be pancakes at breakfast time and meat and potatoes at dinner time. You mean you could have meat for breakfast and breakfast for dinner?
We love breakfast for dinner.
This is mind-blowing information, folks. Hopefully you have your pens and papers out. You're writing this down.
Okay, all right. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What do we do to set up our fridge for success for the week? The first thing I do is I get out my Instant Pot, which is new
to the house and used quite frequently. Like it hasn't even gone into a storing point. Like it's always on the counter.
I've used it for a couple of different things, and I'll experiment with it a little bit here and there. But the number one thing I do in the Instant Pot every single week is
hard-boiled eggs.
It is true. There's no better way to do hard-boiled eggs than in the Instant
Pot. And in mass quantities. Like we're not talking
14.
Like 5
I can
or
fit
6.
14.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's 14. So that makes 20.
Looks like a lot
well, it makes 28 deviled eggs because you cut them in half.
Okay,
so
that's
28 deviled eggs.
So
that's a
much.
good amount. It gets us through the week. We get a couple. I take a couple to work.
Hark back to an older episode. Where do we get these eggs from?
From our backyard chickens.
From our chicken's butt. That's right.
Okay. So if you have an Instant Pot, I put about a cup of water in it. I put in the rack and I rack up my 14 eggs and I do the 5-5-5 method. So you set your Instant Pot for 5 minutes. Once it gets up to pressure, it cooks for 5 minutes. Then you let it naturally release for 5 minutes before you let it steam out. And then you give it an ice bath for 5 minutes and then they're done. So
5-5-5-5.
It's the 5-5-5 method. Well, you get it up to pressure and then it cooks for 5 minutes.
Okay, pressure at 5.
Then it releases for
at
5 minutes, natural release.
Natural release.
After that, you have to release the rest of the steam or it'll blow up in your face. And then you take them out and you put them in the ice bath for 5 minutes and then they're done.
And they deshell pretty easy after that, don't they?
The shell just falls right off. You will never have a problem shelling eggs again if you have an Instant Pot. It is a wonderful thing.
That's beautiful. Yeah, and I've done it 0 times. Yeah.
Never.
So it's so easy for me.
Yeah, he loves it. Your Instant Pot will smell like hard-boiled eggs for the rest of your life, though. I've learned that the hard way. It just is what it is. I use it for eggs. So we typically every single week we'll start with a mass quantity of deviled eggs. I like to use an avocado-based mayonnaise. I like to put in a little spicy mustard and some salt. That's really all I do. I keep it really simple. Sometimes we top it with paprika. Sometimes we don't.
So ingredients are the yellow ball,
Right?
avocado based what?
Mayonnaise.
Is that like a
Yeah, so
specialty
you can
thing?
use Hellman's or whatever you like, but we prefer to use the avocado-based one. I use one called Sir Kensington, but there's lots out there to choose from. But whatever
'Cause
mayo that you like.
thank you millennials for all that avocado-ness.
Yes, avocado. And then some mustard. I use spicy mustard, or if I
Yep.
don't have spicy mustard, I'll use regular yellow mustard and salt.
And mix it all up.
Mix it all
Spoon
up,
it up.
scoop it in. They don't have to look pretty. I don't make them fancy. And then I take a couple of them with me to work every day. My son, one of them will take it to lunch. My other one does not
Not
want
so
them.
much, yeah, Javen. Not
And
so
then
much.
they're always in the fridge. So when Sam goes into the fridge, if he gets to stop home for lunch, at least he's got a quick,
little
healthy snack,
snack.
like cooked, ready to go. They're almost
Are we
always
missing one of the
in our
greatest
fridge.
ingredients on this? The paprika.
We do, yes. We used to not make them with paprika. My niece was very adamant that is
mortified.
not how you do these eggs. So we now do add the paprika. We have been schooled by a 20-year-old.
Who knows everything?
She knows it all.
Yeah, so yeah,
Hi, Jordan. Love you.
It only makes sense that we listen to her.
Yeah. So yeah, we are paprikaing our eggs. You'll be happy to know.
Paprika, it's a verb now.
So yeah, those are always ready to go. Avocado, I like to buy a bag of avocados. I always take an avocado with me to work. I literally slice it in half. I take a spoon and I just eat it right out of the avocado.
Speaking of avocados, have you heard that there might be a shortage of avocados because there's some kind of trade thing going on? This is
Oh, jeez.
late breaking news coming to you live from Doing Life Radio, recorded
Oh.
previously. Yeah, so apparently there's some trade embargo or something might happen with Mexico, and that's where most of our avocados come from. That comes through. I mean, millennials are literally
We're going to lose our minds, and I'm not even a millennial.
they will not even. They will can't even to themselves to death if there's no more avocados.
If you can have an avocado, I will eat
So-
it straight out of the shell. I
Start
love it.
storing
I don't put anything on it.
I
It's
actually
just
prefer
good how it is.
the avocado like by itself as opposed to with something else. For
You
some,
like guacamole?
no, listen. So I like guacamole, but I'm not putting a slice of avocado on something to eat with it, like on a burger.
I
I've
will.
heard people put on
Yeah,
a burger, put on
on a
this,
sandwich.
put on that. No, I want it.
Anything, an omelet, anything you can put avocado on, it makes it better.
Yeah, no. For me, it's guac or plain. End of story. I don't like it.
I also love guacamole, and you can get single serve guacamole, and I'll eat that right out of the container. Especially a lot of times you can get really clean guacamole where it's literally avocado, salt, maybe one other
Just like they do at the
ingredient.
restaurant,
It's
like,
not.
mix
It's
it up.
not full of like garbage. And those little single serve ones you can put in the freezer, so you don't have to worry about them expiring. And then I just pop them in my lunchbox when I'm going to work, and I can add them to whatever I'm eating. They're wonderful.
That's nice. I didn't know that was an option.
Always yogurt in my fridge. I eat Too Good yogurt, TWO. It's got 2 grams of sugar in it. That's my go-to yogurt. They have tons of flavors.
Isn't it like coconut yogurt though?
No, you always ask me that. The coconut yogurt is Tadden's. Mine is dairy. I don't know why this is so
I
confusing.
guess I see the
I
coconut.
eat dairy.
Now, little backstory: I do not like coconut.
He hates coconut.
I can't
He's-
stand.
yeah.
I can't stand the smell of coconut. When you go to the beach, every sun lotion has the smell of coconut. Can't stand it. Don't like coconut. So I think she intentionally buys these coconut things.
They're
to
for
keep me away.
Tadden. He doesn't like dairy. Anyway, I eat the Too Good yogurt, only the vanilla flavor. The other ones are they're mediocre at best, but the vanilla one, they got that one on the money.
Nailed it. Huh?
I've always got that in the fridge. Cheese sticks. We've always got like little salami
or little
bites,
meat
things
bites
like
or
that,
something.
things you can quickly eat. Parm crisps, if you're looking for like potato chips or something with a little crunch to it, that's your go-to.
Yeah, well, you just went on the big, before we even started recording, she went on this big tirade about how these things are like the best things she's ever had.
He
She's, like,
hasn't
plowing
even
through
been
them.
able to try them because when I buy them, I eat the whole
I haven't
bag.
even seen the bag, and she's going into
They're
all
so-
these details
Well,
about all
I
these
usually eat them on the way home, so they're so
things. Like,
good.
what? And I have no idea what you're
We'll
talking.
have
She's
to
like,
get
we'll
you
have to
some
do
Parm
some
crisps.
research on it and get it.
Anyway, yeah, they're very good. But as far as prepping, it's really just the deviled eggs. Those have to get prepped, and the salami. So I do salami and cream cheese. I basically just lay cream cheese in the middle of the salami, roll it up, and they're like these little salami and cream cheese roll-ups. I make a big plate of them so I can grab a couple of them to bring. He likes to have them in the fridge when he gets home. And then while I'm making those, I'll also do a bunch of celery. I'll rinse it, dry it, and also stuff those with cream cheese. So I've got the salami and the celery. They're both stuffed with cream cheese. And I just make a huge plate of them. So we always have a plate of salami, celery, cream cheese.
Again, you don't care what it looks like. We're not.
Yeah, they don't have
this
to be.
out
Are
for
you
anything.
saying that they're not pretty?
I'm not. I'm saying
Is it an ugly plate that I make you?
that they are doing well. That they look
Anyway.
like they're supposed to look.
I like to also have pickles in my little mix. So I'll have the salami roll-ups, the celery roll-ups, some hard-boiled eggs, and some pickles. Like that is a typical packed lunch for me. I really enjoy it.
It's
It's
an easy
lots of
shot.
variety.
It doesn't take a
It's
lot of
all
time
in
to
the fridge.
prep.
It's ready to go. And then a lot of times I'll also have breakfast at work. So that's where I'll get like the my yogurt. You guys already know I love the granola from Diabetic Kitchen. It's my favorite granola. So
Shout out to Diabetic Kitchen.
a little granola, a little yogurt, boom, and then a coffee. That's usually my breakfast. And then my lunch is just that, what we went over. But I always have those basic ingredients. If that's not what I have for lunch, it's tuna fish over just a salad. Like I'll just get a pre-made salad bag from the grocery store and I'll just put that in a bowl, scoop out the tuna in the packet,
Like the pouch tuna.
the pouch tuna.
Okay. Are they flavored at all?
You
or just a
can
regular
get them
one?
flavored. I like it regular. I just
Is that
mix
the one
it with
where
a
it
little
had
mayo.
like the buffalo chicken flavored one?
Yeah, you like that one.
That wasn't too bad at all.
Sometimes I'll even throw the deviled eggs right on top of it and just make it into like a tuna
mishmash.
egg salad. And yeah, that's almost every day what we eat for like breakfast, lunch.
Yeah, and towards the end of the week, it starts to
It
dwindle
depletes.
dwindle down a little bit. But yeah, we could definitely make a whole meal out of it. Just a quick little snack.
Yeah.
Like I love.
Or of course leftovers. Leftovers are always a fantastic option to package up and bring to work.
Yeah, you definitely live
love
on
leftovers.
leftovers for lunch and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And me, not so much. It isn't my favorite thing, but I'm
Depends.
starting
Yeah.
to get into it. And
He's
stuff
getting
like
on the
that.
leftover bandwagon.
It's all a matter of how you reheat and re-prep it because you can really dry it out pretty quick doing that. So I'm kind of learning that. Looking forward. We're having leftovers later on. I'm looking forward
That's
to
what
that.
we're having tonight.
So we'll get to that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like I don't know if that's so much meal prep, so much as like snack prep. Like I think.
Well, that's our lunch.
Yeah, I mean it's your lunch, it's my snacks. Like I don't meal on those things typically, but having them in the fridge, like I'll see Tad go in and there's deviled eggs. He'll grab one or two just to snack on and
And I
have
would much
easy
rather
access to it.
him choose that than a bag of chips or a granola bar or something like that.
Yeah, those are easy throw together kind of things. Very simple.
But you also want to prep your fridge for your dinners. I don't do necessarily a meal prep, but I do figure out what we're going to kind of eat. Maybe not for the whole week or, but I'll know generally what we're going for. And my fridge is kind of ready to go. We do basically eat the same things over and over and over again, but a nice variety.
There's enough variety and, the way that we eat throughout the week, like we're like most families, we can't get together all 7 nights of the week to sit down and eat dinner. So
when we do,
3-4
I
nights
make
a week, we're on
huge
it.
meal,
We go
and
to
then we'll
town.
have that probably for 2 nights, maybe 3, depending on what our week looks like. But the crock pot is a huge staple in our house. I like to make crock pot meat, I call it.
Yep.
So that'll either be chicken, it'll be pork. So if I'm doing pork, pulled pork or a pork loin, or if I'm doing chicken thighs or whatever. So I'll either put chicken stock in the crock pot, throw in my meat, set it on low, forget about it till it's done. Or a stick of butter. Stick of butter, that's great and nice fat. And then throw your meat in, season it up however you like it. We love garlic salt all over our meat. So I usually saturate it with garlic salt or even fresh garlic. If you have any fresh herbs, throw them on in the crock pot. I'm not really a measurer, or I'm really not very
You're
specific.
Definitely not. You said
I just throw it all in the crock pot.
the other day you were just shaking salt into something. I said, "Did you measure that?" You're like, "Yeah, I'm Italian." You
This
just
is
kept
how we
going on.
measure things.
That's how
Leave
you
me
do
alone.
things. You just keep going till you
So
stop.
yeah, always crock pot meat at least once a week, or steak. We don't put steak in the crock pot. If
Nope.
we do steak, we're doing that out on the grill or maybe
Typically
on
grill,
the
maybe on a skillet in the house.
Yeah.
But Yeah, steaks we treat a little bit differently.
Yeah.
They hold a higher esteem in this house.
So when we're having meat, whether it's from the crock pot or the grill, we usually have it with the cauliflower mac and cheese. We shared that on a previous episode, the recipe for that. Or we'll do a mashed cauliflower. You can also buy frozen mashed cauliflower from the frozen food, and we do that pretty frequently because it's nice to just have it in the freezer for, we're running late. There's meat already in the crock pot. Great, I can throw
You
this
have a
mashed
quick
cauliflower
side dish ready to
in
go.
the microwave. It's ready to go. But other side dishes, I love asparagus. We do the asparagus
Yes, you do.
pretty frequently. Everyone else doesn't like it so much, but I do the shopping and I do the cooking, so we do asparagus
So we
a
eat
lot.
asparagus.
Yeah. Broccoli, probably not as much as we used to. I think
No.
we kind of burnt out. We used to eat broccoli all the
Well,
time.
I love broccoli. I love steamed broccoli. That's
Well, it's
like
getting
one of my
warmer.
tops.
We'll break it back out again. Coleslaw is a really nice option because cabbage is really good for you, and you can buy the coleslaw bags. It's already shredded. It's already done. You just have to add your mayonnaise or whatever you like to put in your coleslaw. Just don't do the sugar. Skip that ingredient altogether. And chill it, and it's ready to go. So that's a really quick, easy option to go with your meat.
Is coleslaw like made up of just cabbage, or what else?
Yeah,
is
in
in
in the package, it's just cabbage, but you would add then your mayonnaise. Some people like to add a little vinegar. I know sugar is a common ingredient, but please don't add that.
Do they add carrots into it?
Some of them have. Some of the bagged ones have carrots. Some of them don't.
Gotcha.
So it just
But
depends
it's a
on.
specific like coleslaw bag,
I mean,
or
it's
is it just a
people
cabbage
make
bag?
coleslaw differently depending on where you're from.
Just
I use
asking
the
questions.
bag and I use the mayo. That's it. A little
End
bit
of
of
story.
salt. End of
Avocado
story.
mayo.
Oh, put avocado in it. That's a great idea. That'll be so good. Avocados make anything better. Oh, and mushrooms. I don't put mushrooms in anything because everyone in my family will lose their minds. They hate them so much.
Right. We dislike
But
mushrooms.
I love mushrooms. They give everything better texture. It's delicious with anything. I put it in my eggs. So yeah, mushrooms are a great option
Ugh,
to fill out
I
your
don't
meal.
know about that.
So yeah,
You ever smell a mushroom farm? Like if you drive by a mushroom farm and you
honey.
smell it, you know exactly why no one likes mushrooms.
everyone likes mushrooms. But anyway, so yeah, we'll either have meat and veggies or we do taco salad probably every Tuesday, at least.
Well, we got
get it
into a Taco
frequently.
Tuesday, and if we don't have it on a
Yeah.
Tuesday, we complain.
So we do give the kids soft shell tacos. They love it.
It's
Whatever.
easy.
It's
Yep.
easy. Tuesdays are kind of rushed. I go from work to get the kids to take one to piano lessons. By the time I get home, boom, dinner needs to get on the table. And tacos is a really quick way to do that.
Yep.
So we just put a little bit of, like pre-made salad in our bowl, the ground beef or whatever kind of meat we're having with our taco, which does vary. And then we can top it with the cheese, with the sour cream, with the avocado, the guacamole, whatever it is
Yep.
we're having.
Everything but
Everything
the
but the
wrap.
shell.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I enjoy
Yeah.
it. We started throwing some of that pork in it. What a carnita.
Yeah, we started getting carnitas. They have them pre-done at Trader Joe's, like pre-packaged. You can just pop it in the skillet or the microwave, and that's a really quick
Yeah,
and convenient
that
thing. Trader
definitely-
Joe's has saved the day for us. We also get from Trader Joe's pork belly, which we never have
Yes.
ever had pork belly before going keto. But is it? It's
It's the
incredible,
best.
right?
It's
It is
the
so good if you've
best.
never had pork belly. Now, I get it from Trader Joe's and it's pre-cooked, so I literally just slice it up and put it in the skillet. So I don't know how you would cook it if it's raw. I know you probably have to be pretty careful about making sure it's
Google could tell us.
yeah, ask your butcher, whatever. But I get it from Trader Joe's. It's safe, like make it warm, and then we always make it with runny eggs. It's just
Yeah,
delicious.
that
A
is so
big
good.
plate of pork belly with runny eggs, and you've got the yolk all
Is
over
Trader
your
Joe's
plate.
also where you get like end cuts and all this stuff, like the
Yeah, so they have these
cheese and the end cut bacon?
Oh, well, no, the cheese I get at ShopRite, but
Okay.
they do this bacon. It's a really good high quality bacon, but it's not like laid out pretty like you
Oh,
get
it
bacon.
looks,
It's
yeah.
all like the end cuts and they're shoved together in this package and it's like $4 and you get this huge thing of great quality bacon, but it looks bad, so people aren't buying it. I literally will buy every single
Yep.
one. I'll come home with about 6 packs of it and it's
It's
always
the
in our
best.
fridge.
It's so good.
It
so
is
good.
the most delicious bacon ever.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's the random. So sometimes you get really fat random cuts, and then sometimes you get perfect slices of bacon. It's all just shoved in there together. So I guess it's whatever they can't make.
It's all the
look
pretty stuff,
perfect
right?
for their
Whatever didn't make the cut. The
Whatever
ugly
didn't make the
duckling.
cut, yes.
It's
So yeah, we get that from Trader Joe's too.
that's a great thing to throw in. I
So
love
yeah,
that.
pork belly, runny eggs. That's a delicious meal. Pasta, I know there are those pasta lovers, and I always thought that I would never be able to give up pasta. I always thought that that would be like my cheat dish, but I have given it up and I haven't looked back. I don't miss it at all because I have found miracle noodles. You like them. I don't know that you
I don't
like them
dislike
as
them.
much as
Right.
I do.
No,
For
definitely.
me, I was like, oh, this is the holy grail. Like I'm good now because I like to have a bowl of pasta,
Right.
you know?
That texture, that feel, the way you eat it. Like there's more elements to
There's
it
a
than just that.
comfort to it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So miracle noodles are it's a plant-based noodle, no carbs, no calories, nothing. And we like to use the Rao's white sauce. Rao's is a brand, RAO apostrophe S, and it's a really high quality pasta sauce. And they have red sauce and they have white sauce. Obviously, the white sauce is going to be lower in carb because it's cheese-based sauce, not a tomato-based sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And we will cook that up, and we love to do it with either shrimp or scallops. That's just how we like it.
Yep.
And yeah, big bowl of pasta with some shrimp scallops. And then a lot of times I'll also have, of course, asparagus
Of
in it
course.
as
Always.
well. It just kind of gives it a little bit more texture.
Yeah. Get your. So it's a plant based. What plant is? Is it a special
I think it's
plant or
called
is
the
it just?
cognac plant. We can
Okay.
put that in the show notes for sure, but I
Yeah.
think it's called the cognac plant. It's something I had never heard of before keto, but it's a very popular option for pasta. I know Weight Watchers has kind of gotten on the bandwagon and they made their own version called skinny pasta, which is also the cognac plant, but they've processed it. It's a little bit more processed, so it's less steps, and I do like that a lot. So I will typically get the Weight Watchers version because it's a little quicker. It's one less step.
Right. Yeah. It comes all crammed up in the bag. It just
Yeah,
looks.
you
It
buy
looks
it like
like.
wet noodles in a bag. It's not like a dry pasta in a box, but it's in the same aisle. At least the Weight Watchers is in your local grocery store. The Miracle noodles you might have to get on Amazon. I know you can get them at Whole Foods. I haven't seen them at Trader Joe's. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a really nice option. So those are probably our staple meals. We probably are either having a taco salad, a meat and veggie. We do the pork belly pretty frequently. Oh, and we do fish. Like we'll do salmon or we do flounder.
Yeah.
We do like fish a lot. I will only buy wild caught fish. I will not buy farm raised fish. You can Google why, because when I Googled it, I was horrified. So I'll let you do that on your own. But yeah, I'll get a wild caught fish, and then we'll do that again with whatever veggies or a salad.
Now, when you prepare the fish, what do you really don't do a whole lot
I don't.
to prepare the
I'm
fish.
pretty minimal. I
Yeah.
usually cook them in the oven. Olive oil, lemon, salt, and that's pretty much
It's
it.
pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we love it. We all eat it, and
Yeah, even the boys love fish.
almost never have leftovers on fish night because
No, because there's not usually a
not
lot.
as much.
Yeah.
It's lighter too, so you
And
feel
it's
like
a little
you're eating
pricier
more.
when you're getting wild
Yeah.
caught, so we're not like buying a ton of it. So yeah, I would say that's kind of our go-tos. I am a big dessert person. I do like to dabble in the dessert keto world, and I'm trying to figure out a few things. I'd really love to do an episode where we go over like keto desserts. I know a lot of people are using protein powders to make like mug cakes and different things, so I'm experimenting with that. It's
The other
nothing I'm
day,
ready to
you
bring out yet.
made the keto bark.
Yeah, I
Or
made
what was it?
keto bark for Easter. One of my coworkers had made keto bark and brought me some, and I asked her how she made it. So that was delicious. It was so Lily's chocolate chips is a chocolate chip that is sugar free. It's sweetened with stevia. They're delicious. Sometimes I'll just snack on Lily's chocolate chips for dessert. And she just melted that down in a saucepan with a little heavy whipping cream, spread it on out, and then topped it with some nuts and some salt. So I was like, well, that's easy enough. So I
Yeah.
made that for Easter, and yeah, I was even munching on that today. It's a really
Yeah, I
tasty option.
completely forgot about it till now. So now
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that after dinner. So I have
Yeah.
a little
So
sweet
that's a
taste
good
in there.
option. And don't be afraid of your protein shakes. If you have a really good high quality protein shake that has, no carbs or 1 gram of carb, you can turn that into a dessert. There's lots of options on Pinterest you can check out. And we'll dive more into desserts. I just want to make sure I am a little better educated before we do that. But a lot of times I'll use my protein shake and I'll put it in cold coffee to make like an iced coffee drink. I know I've done that for you
Yeah,
before. So you just swap out the water because there's almost no carbs in it. And that's delicious. Gives you your caffeine, gives you that sweet tooth kick.
Yeah, you
So,
get all the above. Everything goes
yeah.
in on
Yeah,
it.
sometimes you just have to kind of get out of the box because you think protein shake, I mix it according to the directions and that's, my breakfast or my meal replacement, but you can use that, as a dessert substitute as well.
Especially all the different options now out there
Yeah.
for little things you can add in there for flavor and jazz it up, I guess, a bit. So
Yeah, I had introduced the protein shake to our sister-in-law, and I had given her a couple of recipes. And she added frozen fruit to it. And she's like, oh my gosh, this is like a smoothie. This is what I'm going to eat instead of ice cream. I'm like, yeah, that's a fantastic option. I mean, that's pretty much what Halo Top is, right? They take a protein shake, freeze it, and sell it to you and tell you that it's ice cream.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah. So anyway, I do enjoy dessert after dinner. I'm trying to maybe not do it every night, but I do try to do, a good option. God bless you.
Oh, thank you.
Low carb dessert. Sam's not so big on the desserts, although he is more of the late night meat and cheese.
Yeah, I gotta
snacker.
get away from that.
Where I'm like 6:30. I don't want to eat anything else into the next day because I want to let my body totally digest its food so it can start to heal itself and repair. I've seen such a remarkable difference by just giving myself like a 15 hour window of not eating.
The word is intermittent fasting.
Right.
And that's definitely a proven fact. And now, obviously, if you're going to start this as part of your kind of routine, you want to check in with your doctor, but there's a lot of health benefits for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it used to be like when you're trying to eat healthy, eat like 6 small meals a day and space it all out. That has been totally debunked. I don't really know of anyone, I don't really know of any health nutritionist who's, really doing anything that's saying to still do that. I think that's really pretty much debunked at this point. They're saying give your body time to fully digest its food and to heal before you can't constantly be introducing food into your body over and over. I mean, that's for the general majority. I know there are people
there are some nutritional exceptions from that. Some people need to make exceptions.
I'm speaking for us. I'm not speaking for you. You need to speak with your doctor and use your own common sense based on what you know about your own body to make those decisions. But for the most part, I don't think people are really saying that anymore. The little meals. I think they're saying yes. This intermittent fasting.
There's definitely a transition going on in the nutritional world, and we're at the cutting edge of it.
Yeah, sure.
Having said that, I am going to be starting the process.
We're going to do
you've been great at it, but I need to start with the intermittent. I like to sit down late at night, watch TV.
He likes his late night snacks.
For some reason, that's my comfort food.
But he's going to get on to the intermittent fasting. We've been talking about doing an episode, but not until we're both consistently doing it because we want to make sure we know what we're talking about.
So we're going to walk down that train publicly, I think, with everybody.
Yeah, But since I don't, media. Like when I know I'm done dinner, I know I've got like 10 minutes and I'm done. I can't eat for the rest of the day. I want that little snack. And if nothing else, I will get a little handful of Lily's chocolate chips, or sometimes I will do Lily's chocolate chips with hazelnuts. I'll put them together in a bowl. That is a killer combination.
And I like how you.
I have a tiny little bowl.
If you're just listening to it, she's got her hands all clustered and like her shoulders hunched over. Imagine a little kid who just reached
so happy with their little treat.
Took a piece of candy that they weren't allowed to have. Like that's kind of the hunched over look that Joyce has given to us. And no lie, I will come into the kitchen. She's in the corner of the kitchen. She just reached into the cabinet.
Like,
she pulled out her little bowl. She reached into the corner cabinet. She poured her chocolates out wherever and she's just sitting there because she's staring at the clock that's there on the stove. She's like, five more minutes.
Not. He's
and
a
she's
liar.
Just shoving these things down there one by one.
I'm usually scrolling Instagram.
She's enjoying everything. And she's just cramming it right in the right. I'm like, what are you doing? She turns around, she hands me these chocolates. I'm like, I can't have chocolates. I'm keto. And she goes, no, these are good to go. So now we're shoving these little sweets. But yeah, she definitely like watches that clock.
Yeah.
She snacks on it.
I mean, sometimes it will go till 7 because it's based on when we can eat dinner. But
usually
I try for 6:30. That is my goal. Is for us, if we can eat dinner by 6, I can be done by 6:30.
And then the next day, you're looking at what time to start?
Usually I have my coffee by 8.
Right.
But I like to push that back till like 9.
Coffee breaks the fast.
Right. So that's the problem
coffee.
Is I'd like to extend it a little longer. It depends. Sometimes I get home from the gym and I'm like starving and I do subscribe to the fact that if you're hungry, you should eat. Like I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm so hungry and I'm going to wait an hour. No, I don't do that to myself. I don't think you should do that to yourself. If you're hungry, you should eat. But sometimes you get home, you're not hungry at all and you're like, oh, I should eat breakfast. Why? If you're not hungry, Just wait till your body tells you that it's
Of course,
hungry. But, I know sometimes maybe you have to go to work, you have a long shift, and so you may have to eat. So, listen to your body and, obviously take your schedule into
so
consideration.
we'll do some more
Yeah,
research, some
what are
more
we talking
personal.
about? Let's get off of this topic.
Well,
We're going to do
because
this later.
you're talking about how quickly you wanted to eat your
Right.
snack,
Okay.
which
So
leads
yeah,
us
I do
to
like dessert, and I have this dessert that I don't think I made up the recipe. I'm sure it's all over Pinterest, but just from like researching, I figured out how to kind of whip this up in no time, and I made it for
whip it,
Sam
whip
tonight
it
because
good.
he will never ever try it. So I figured if I make him
Never
try it
ever.
on the podcast, he'll try it. So this is my homemade chocolate mousse for one.
that should give you the clue right there about why Sam hasn't had a chance to try this yet.
Well, because sometimes you don't want to make a whole big dessert, but you can make a single serve dessert. Here, I'm giving
Okay,
this to you.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay, so this is chocolate mousse, and the recipe that I wrote out is so simple to remember, but we will put it in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll put it in there.
So this is a half a cup of heavy whipping cream,
Nice.
which is like maybe 3 grams of carbs, not much. It's a half a tablespoon of unsweetened cocoa powder. It's a half a tablespoon of a keto approved sweetener. So this one has erythritol in it.
Erythritol.
Erythritol.
Okay.
And then it also has a half a tablespoon of Lily's chocolate chips, just to give it a little crunch.
I can see. Yeah. I can see
So
the
I
chocolate
mixed it
chips.
all together in the bullet until it became like a whipped cream consistency. And I don't usually measure. I usually just put the stuff in and mix it up. But I wanted to measure it out for this and make sure
Specifically, so
you could make it at home. And I did everything in half increments to make it easy. So a half a cup, and then everything else is a half a tablespoon. Half a cup of the cream, heavy whipping cream, and then half a tablespoon of everything else: unsweetened baking cocoa powder, your sweetener, and your chocolate chips. So
almost smells like a nut kind of thing. I don't know what is giving that smell, but it definitely
maybe a cocoa.
a cocoa nut. Well played there,
coconut?
lady. Wow. She'll be here all week, folks. Okay, so it is a whip, and it's got little
It's like a
chocolates in
mousse.
it. It's like a mousse, just like a
So
mousse.
good. Don't believe him if he
reminds
doesn't
me-
say so.
Of a story from when I was a young boy
gosh,
with
what?
my family. We're all sitting around the table, and if you know the Rimple family at all, there's a slight competition for attention. And this is involving my dad and his brothers, and we're sitting in a restaurant, and we're all getting ready to have dessert, and then out of nowhere, I believe it was my Uncle Tom, just sits back and goes, "I think I'll have the chocolate mousse."
Oh my gosh.
Love that story, and I know if my brothers and my sister are listening to it, they love that story too. Everyone else
Just
can't believe
eat
I
your
just
mousse.
said. Okay, I'm about to eat the mousse.
Don't do that.
I'm letting people know that I'm eating it.
It is good. Even if
Yeah,
he
it tastes
says
really
it's
good.
not, it's really good. It's like a pie filling. It's like you're eating a chocolate mousse pie filling.
I'm trying to get around the chocolate chips.
Why?
Just because
Oh,
I
'cause
want to
you
try
wanna
the
taste the
try
mousse
the
without
mousse
it?
separately, right? So I'm trying to do that in case someone's like, well, you know what? I don't want the chips or anything like that.
Why wouldn't you want the chips?
There are weird people out there, and weird people, are,
You know what else
are
would be
drawn
good
to
in
us.
here is if you added like some peanut butter and just mix that in after you made the mousse. That would be good too.
Oh, definitely. The mousse is really good. I almost like it better without the chocolates.
All right, well, you can do it without the
The mousse
chocolates.
isn't getting in the way. Are we going to spend the rest of the time watching and listening to me eat this? Because
No,
it could
no,
be really awkward.
I think we just wanted to make sure that it was good. But yeah, so we wanted to
It's
leave
definitely
you
good.
with a recipe. I know that last time we left you with a recipe, people loved that. So we're going to try and do that a little bit more often. So yeah, that's sort of how I set my fridge up for success for the week. We definitely like to have things pre-made, ready to go. I mean, if you have celery that's unwashed in your fridge and you have a block of cream cheese, that's probably going to sit like that all week long. You need to, break it apart, cut it up, clean it, top
And
it
you're
with
not talking
cream
about like a
cheese.
ton of time either. I mean, it's
Says
sometimes-
the guy who never does any prep for our food ever.
I do too prep.
It does take time, but it's not
put
an
the
exorbitant
plates on
amount of
the table.
time. Sometimes it's worth the time, I guess,
Yes.
is the point. It's worth the time to just have it done, because if I don't have it done, I find myself at work without food ready to go, and then they're going around taking orders. We're going here today. Do you want to get food? And it's really hard to say like, no, I don't. I want to.
I think it harkens back to, like, we talk about, yeah, we're on this keto diet, but we're really on like a life discipline.
Yeah.
So it's a discipline thing. It's just get it done now while you have the energy and the foresight to say, I'm going to prep for the whole week and do it in bulk, do it in mass.
And I have to pack lunches for my kids anyway. So I think one day I had this light bulb moment of like, I make lunches for these two boys every single day. Why am I not just making it for all of us? Make lunch for everyone, and then it's ready to go. We're all set.
Yeah, I definitely benefit from it. It's funny. Just recently, one of your friends was saying, "Hey, I need to talk to Sam about the diet that he's on and all that kind of stuff."
Can I talk to Sam about keto? I'm like, Sam doesn't know anything about keto. You want to talk to me? He maybe lost all the weight, but I did all the homework.
And that's what everyone always. I get questions all the time about it, like what's this and that, and I'm like, look, all I know is I eat what's put before me, and I feel guilty if Joyce isn't around and I'm eating. That's the end of the story, and it just works out for us. So. Yeah, I mean, it helps to know, and I do know. I'm learning as I go along.
He knows more than he lets on.
Right, but I also get a little bit nervous when people ask me directly the question. I'm like,
Yeah.
like,
well, Google's a wealth of knowledge. Feel free to Google things.
Here's where it is: bacon and cheese. I know, and I love bacon and cheese, and that's on the diet.
But you can't have all the bacon and cheese you want. There still should be a calorie restriction.
See, I'm not the guy to talk to.
Anyway, that is sort of how we set up our fridge for success. If you have a better tip or trick for us, we are certainly willing to give it a try.
Yeah.
We would love to see your meal prep. If you're one of those people who literally puts everything in containers and labels them Sunday through Saturday, then we think you're awesome. We'd love to see pictures of that.
Yeah, you're so much better than us.
You can maybe train us. We're on a journey. We haven't been doing keto all that long. We're still figuring it out, and we're still willing to make changes. I hope we're always willing to make changes as, we learn and as we grow in this.
Yeah, I mean, imagine where we were 18 months ago. We had no clue about this thing. You did. I had nothing about it. Now we're kind of learning. I'm feeling the effects of all this, and I'm reaping the benefits. And it does. Like, I look at the list that we put together. I'm like, well, that list isn't really all that extensive, but I haven't noticed it. But this has really been our meals for the last 8 months, and I haven't felt like I've been missing anything.
No. And now that summer's coming, we do burgers out on the grill, and we just kind of have gotten accustomed to doing bunless burgers. And man, you can top them when they're bunless. You can put all kinds of stuff on top of your
another
burgers.
Thing too is we started adding the eggs at home.
Oh, runny eggs
Did you
over
know
your burgers.
You don't have to go to a restaurant for your country burger. You can make your own eggs at home.
It is delicious to put a runny egg over a burger. It just I don't know, gives it sauce.
Especially
something to dip
if you're doing it our way with the naked burger and stuff like that. Sometimes you need that little bit of extra.
Yeah, you need to dip it in something so that yolk, that runny yolk, makes all the difference.
That's the sauce that you need. That's natural. So hey, if you have any ideas, we're gonna put this recipe for the mousse. What are we calling this thing?
Chocolate mousse. How about Joyce's chocolate mousse?
Joyce's chocolate mousse.
For
copyright. For one. Now you know why. This is the first time. It's been in our house for years, and it's the first time I've had a crack at it.
Months.
So check it out. Check out the recipe. Let us know how you like it. If you have any questions about it, don't hesitate to reach out to us. But we appreciate spending this time with you for our meal prep episode.
All right.
All right. Goodbye.